Good evening, guys. Forristicat here once again. Tonight, I want to put forward my thoughts on the television cop drama Southland. Now, I just watched the season 3 finale, so just be aware that I'm only going to be giving spoilers up to and including season 3. I've been keeping track of season 4. I'm aware it's being broadcast at the moment, but I just wanted to give my sort of thoughts. I thought of holding off until I caught up with season 4, but there are 8 episodes in. But I want to sort of give my thoughts out when it's still fresh in my mind, going off this season finale. So basically, Southland is a very good cop show. Chosen One, I'm talking to you, mentioned that the first 3 seasons are better than the whole series of The Shield. Now, The Shield is a lot of things, but in terms of being, like the Chosen One said, like a true, gritty, no-holds-barred cop drama, I have to agree that Southland is coming from it from a different perspective in order to beat The Shield. The Shield always had little gimmicks and the idea of having the fake barn unit where Vic Mackay ran amok, but here it really does. It's really a serious police drama, and it does have its funny moments, but more often than not, it's very hard hitting. Now, I just can't believe I didn't sort of watch this show earlier, because this show is bloody fantastic. It's seriously really good. So if you're into cop dramas, just straight off the bat here, I'd recommend you guys check it out, because it definitely has its moments. So my favorite aspect about the show is the relationship and chemistry, or lack thereof, between the 2 main guys, which is John Cooper and Ben Sherman. So basically, Ben Sherman, once again, just like Homicide: Life on the Street, you've got a guy coming in from the academy who's dubbed the Boot. Like they're in their culture, the police culture, whatever. They have all these nicknames and stuff. So Boot obviously meaning like you just came into the police force and you're a new shoe, so to speak. And he's getting training from Officer John Cooper. Now, what makes it interesting is that John Cooper is battling this drug problem throughout season 2 and culminating at the end of season 3. So it's this sort of relationship where Ben Cooper John Cooper originally has a problem with one of the other detectives, Chicky Brown, and how this other really outgoing, crazy detective, I can't remember who he is, he's the one that goes into rehab, and he's always sort of outgoing, and he's always sort of wisecracking and stuff. He's always like crazy. He gets checked into rehab because eventually he steals like a police car and goes on a crazy sort of chase and like flips the car over. And John Cooper says something like, it's your responsibility. This is just as much as your fault, referring to his partner, as it is his fault, because you sort of had to sort of make if your partner is stuffing up, you're stuffing up because you're not helping your partner. And so I found it interesting that towards the end of season 3, Ben Sherman sort of realizes that he's in the same position, that he needs to step up and he has to put forward the advice that John Cooper gave to this other detective, in terms of actually stepping up and saying, what, partner, you're stuffing up here, you need to get your drug problem checked out. So once again, what makes this show so great is the focus on the police officers as human beings. So we really get to see their motivations. We get to see how John Cooper is sort of driven emotionally from his father raping his daughter at a young age, and that's how he wanted to be a cop. For Ben Sherman, again, he's got daddy issues as well. His dad sort of left him, was sort of semi-abusive as well, so he's motivated him to become a cop. For Detective Lydia Adams, she's really got a kind heart, which is sort of comes through in her interactions with the people of Los Angeles, in terms of actually wanting the best for them, as opposed to just a paycheck from the police department. So all of these guys in the police force, they really have different motivations for becoming policemen and women, and I think the writers of the show really did a good job of showing that. They're not just going to job just to make make money. Like they really do want to make the world a better place and Los Angeles a better place. There is one sort of particular quote that one of the main sort of head detectives gives, and he sort of gives the analogy that gang violence and gang drama is like punching water. Like no matter how many times you punch water, it's always going to sort of remain the same and reflect. It's always going to sort of like just bubble to the same place which it was before. And he gives like a really good quote in the episode punching water, and just bear with me for 10 seconds. I'll pull it up now because I think it's sort of like really sort of summarize sort of the feel of the series for me, or sort of like just it gave like a really good sort of I don't know, like encapsulation of sort of like the mood of the show. So basically what happens is one of these guys' kids gets shot in sort of a drive-by shooting because again, gang-related problems. And so this detective Daniel Salinger says, here's the face, and he has like a face on screen. He goes, here's the face. Remember the face. It's the reason we drag our sorry asses to work every morning in the service of a city that just doesn't give a damn. Fighting gang crime is like punching water. No matter how hard you hit, you just can't leave a dent. When a baby gets murdered, it makes you remember what it felt like the first time you put your blues on and stood in front of a mirror. It makes you remember why you became a cop. The mission is clear. Punish evil everywhere. There are hard-working, decent folk in these communities. Certain lives cannot be crossed, and there is only one way to send these messages sometimes. So we're going to send our boots so far up these gangsters' asses they won't ever dream about pulling this bullshit ever again. So when I read that, I'm like, damn, whoever wrote this episode really wanted to have sort of like a semi-epic moment there, and indeed he had, because like I was like, wow, that's pretty damn emotional. So basically, I really like how they're just in the car, and then all of a sudden something random happens. Like they get a call, boom, they're off scooting out to attend to that call. I love their conversations in the cop car, talking about random things. I like, once again, it comes down to something you can relate to. So they're talking about parties they're going to. They're talking about this one sort of like woman is always having like sex with the recent boots, and it's sort of like a tradition or whatever. You get like all these sort of like cultural references within the police department, like boot or puppy. All these sort of little colloquialisms which are in the police department, which I like hearing that sort of stuff, because it sort of gives you an indication that okay, if you are working in the police department, or if you're in any community, like after a while you have these little sort of abbreviations and sort of like little funny sayings that you say to each other. That sort of gives the drama sort of more like a humanistic feel to it. But I remember in season one finale when Detective Lydia Adams is sort of protecting one of these girls, and she comes out with a shotgun, and this little girl is sort of she's in the house, she's this little black girl. And then I remember watching that finale thinking, damn, please, God, do not like make her get shot, because I was like, if she gets shot, that would be just such a crazy moment of television. So I really didn't want it to get shot. With John Cooper's drug problem, there's one part where he sort of he's distracted in a car somewhere. He sort of he almost crashes his car. I think he's trying to pop a pill or something, and then sort of like his car sort of goes a little bit swervy, and his back hurts, and so he just he like pulls his back up against the car. He's like smashing his like hand in the dust, and he just starts crying. I'm like, damn, that's another crazy moment. When one of the other detectives, I can't remember his name, Nate, not Nate Henderson, but I'll just pull up his name here, Nate Moretta. When Nate Moretta just randomly dies, like I thought that he would show him in hospital the next day and he would just be fine, but nah, like when the wife sort of got pulled into the when the other detective Sammy, when he's sort of like there, and so he's crying, and like you hear Nate's wife crying as she identified the body. That's another hard-hitting moment. So I really like this idea that it's more than they really do a fantastic job of showing that this is more than a job to these guys, and it's very clear to see the motivations behind each of these characters, and that's I think that's what makes the show great. Like obviously like police dramas, you're always going to have the message of them protecting the community, but in this show Southland, you really get the idea that these guys really do want to protect the community here. And you see that with their investigations, how they're very thorough, and I also like just the randomness of the show. That they'll just be talking, then boom, something will happen, and then they're like line them up, boom, they're running away to catch someone straight away. So Southland is an excellent show. I think everyone should watch it. I think I wouldn't have seen it unless. That's why I like the Talkback Center so much, because you guys are out watching different things and you give recommendations, and if I like the sound of it, I'll watch the trailer, and then I'll start getting onto these things, and I wouldn't have started watching these things unless I hear these guys, hear this stuff in this Talkback hotline here. I wouldn't be into the things that I'm into, because the sort of Talkback world really did sort of wake me up, like like our motto is free people's minds. And it's true, because, and this is sort of embarrassing to say, but I'll be honest, before I joined Talkback world, I actually thought that the Phantom Menace was actually like a good piece of storytelling. I actually thought it was a good movie. Like, I was sort of just caught up in the marketing, everything. I was really blind. Like, I really thought the Phantom Menace was good, and I thought, wow, this is a cool movie. But then when I saw everyone else talking about it, and I sort of saw the YouTube video of the Hope and Have Hope and the Merc, and they're sort of talking, I'm like, hold on a second, these guys actually have a point. And it's not until I sort of joined Talkback World that I sort of gained a appreciation of how to get a higher standard of these things. Because if we don't demand like a higher quality of fandom, we're not going to get it. The money's just going to be made on a subpar level. But Southland is definitely not a subpar cop drama, and I think that everyone should check it out. The writing is very good. The only bad thing about it is that I think, in terms of like the daddy issues, like I think it's almost a little bit cliche that Sherman has daddy issues, and also Cooper has daddy issues. I think if they did that a little bit more lightly, it seemed like they sort of tried to sort of play that a little bit too hard. It sort of made it a little bit unrealistic in my opinion. But nevertheless, it sort of it does give us sort of a reason as to why these guys are so well driven. So Southland, check it out. Seasons 1 to 3 were very good. I like the ending of season 3 just now, and how Cooper said thank you to Sherman, and said, thanks for checking me into rehab, and it really does show the process of the police department. Well, again, like you watch The Wire and you think, okay, automatically I know what's going on here in this world. I'm not going to sort of even try and imagine that, okay, yep, Southland, now I know how the police department works in Los Angeles. But at the very least, it gives you a glimpse into their world. And it's always interesting to see how different jobs and careers and situations affect people's lives. Because as I said before, before we're public servants or cooks, or writers or artists or police officers, construction workers, whatever we are, before we are those things, we are human beings. And any piece of fandom which shows human beings, shows their emotion, has a good story, and of course has something we can relate to, then automatically you have a good piece of fandom on your hands. And Southland has sort of done that. It's very emotional with the characters. You can actually relate to them. They're not on some high horse. They're showing real practical issues, like Sammy and his girlfriend and the baby situation. It shows that they're imperfect, and we all are imperfect, and the show sort of shows their flaws. So all of this combined, making the characters very sort of grounded in reality, add good writing and interesting sort of occurrences within Los Angeles. The great sort of feel of like the Los Angeles sunset, and when it's when the sun just sets and it sort of turns into this nice blue. It does give sort of like a beautiful, if dark, sort of impression of Los Angeles. So it's definitely a great show to watch, and definitely a fantastic show, and I'm happy that I got recommended it, and I wouldn't have started watching it if it wasn't for this hotline that you're looking at now. If you are watching this video, of course, on clicking the play button on the Talkback hotline. That's all I have to say. Southland, great Los Angeles police drama with two of my favorite characters now, John Cooper and whatever his name was. Not Sammy Bryant, John Cooper and Ben Sherman. Definitely check it out, guys, because I think if you're into cop dramas and you haven't seen Southland, you definitely won't be disappointed. In fact, you'll be happy. You'll be happy you took my recommendation. Okay, guys, have a good night and take care.